Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Argo Sports Insider. I am your host, Will Kennedy, and this is the home for UWF Athletics. We are shining the light on all the fantastic things going on with our Argo teams, getting to know our student athletes, coaches, and staff, and hopefully having a little fun along the way. Basketball is in the home stretch with just a handful of games left on that regular season schedule. The UWF women have punched their ticket to the Gulf South Conference tournament. The Argos only had one contest scheduled last week. That was a shot at avenging an early season loss to Valdosta State. Zoe Pillar led the way with 13 points and 13 rebounds. Jacqueline Jarnett also hit for 13, and Mariah Taylor chipped in with 11 in a 58-49 win, snapping a three-game losing streak to the Blazers and clinching a GSC quarterfinal game at home.
We knew going into the Valdosta game that was going to be super physical and a super tough game. The first half went back and forth. We went into the locker room down by one, and I really challenged our offense to really just be tougher. In those big games like that, knowing that we're playing the number one defense in our league, that it was going to be tough for us to score. And sometimes offensively, there's no magic potion. You have to will your way into making big plays. And I thought down the stretch in that fourth quarter, we made a couple of big buckets that were kind of the baskets that broke their back and wind up coming out of that hostile environment with a great win. We definitely have to keep winning. Winning is the key late in the season. You've got to take care of business day in and day out, and so for us, that focus has always been game to game. We don't try to look too far ahead of what we got, coming up. It's one game at a time, and I think that's the best way for us to prepare as a team and our players to prepare. And so that's really the focus, is trying to finish this season on the upswing, looking forward to, GSC tournament play, and then seeing what that, if that buys us a way into the NCAA tournament. Our program is super excited again this year to, commemorate the Play for K initiative that our Women's Basketball Coaches Association has really gotten behind in raising money and awareness for breast cancer research. And so Thursday against AUM at 5:30, that's going to be our Play for K Day, which we'd love for our fans to come out and wear pink. Celebrate this day for us, honor someone in your life that has experienced, breast cancer, or been affected by breast cancer, and really shine the light on research to help cure breast cancer. Our game at AUM was really a frustrating game for us. One of our key players, Zoe Pillar, played 12 minutes. She was in foul trouble the whole game. So we had other players that needed to step up, and we're kind of still playing a little bit out of position at that time. But I thought, again, coming out of a win out of that environment where we had multiple players in foul trouble was really a growing experience for us. So I'm looking forward to playing AUM, hopefully, without foul trouble, to kind of see what that looks like for us and how we match up well with them, as they come to our home floor. And then on Saturday, we're celebrating a great day with Montevallo. It's going to be senior day. So we got 3 phenomenal seniors that we'll be honoring on that day, and that should really be a fun experience.
The Argos are now 17-6 overall and 16-4 in GSC play. The women are back on the home court this week, hosting Auburn Montgomery Thursday. That's the Play for K game, and then Montevallo on senior Saturday. Men's basketball lost their only game of the week. That was after leading Valdosta at the half on the road. Latrell Tate led the team with 17 points, and he was one of 4 Argos to hit in double figures. The Argos are currently 9th in the conference standings, with the top 8 teams making the GSC tournament.
Well, the Valdosta game, we did compete pretty well. We didn't do a good job guarding their three-point shooters. In the scout, when we talk about this, maybe the best shooter in the league, we got to know to get out and get after him. And we let him get started and couldn't get it stopped, and just gave up way too many good looks for those guys that can make shots. So that's going to be an emphasis for us to try to take away that going into the AUM game, because they got 4 of them that can shoot it. So we know that we have to defend them well. I thought we played hard and did some really good things execution-wise at Valdosta. We just got to do it more, and we got to do it more consistently over a 40-minute period. Well, I think AUM is one of the most talented teams in the league. They got 3 or 4 bigs that are athletic, that can score, that rebound well, and then their 4 guards are all just really good players, and they can all score, they can all drive it, can make plays. So it will be a challenge guarding them, but we've got to do a good job of finding ways to make them miss and then getting on the glass. We haven't rebounded the ball as well as we need to lately, and that was one of the things that hurt us at Valdosta, giving up a lot of offensive rebounds. So this is a team that can offensive rebound it. When we played them earlier in the year, they just shot it great against us. They made it seem like every shot. So we know we have to guard them well, and then come down and play against a team that pressures a little bit more maybe than some other teams we've played against. They'll come up and guard the ball a little harder and put a little more pressure on you with their athletes. So it will be a challenging game, but a game that we know we can play with these guys. We'll come and get after it for 40 minutes. Well, it's a week that you talk about. Let's have a 2-0 week. Let's find a way to win on Thursday, and then you always want to win on Senior Day. So let's have a good week. Let's prepare well. Let's play well. Let's play as hard as we can play and as well as we can play. We got 3 seniors in Wendell, David, and then a post-grad in Jared, and then we got 3 other guys that will graduate with a year to go, and they'll have to make decisions when the year is over, whether they want to stay here or go somewhere else. But we'd love to have those guys back, and Daniel and Latrell and Jawan. So we'll have 6 guys that will be presented on senior night, and it'll be a great time for them. It's a lot of guys to present before a game, but they deserve it. They've come in, they've played hard, they've worked hard, and almost every one of those guys is going to graduate. So we're real proud of what they've done.
Coach Jeff Burkhammer's squad is now 12-12 on the season with an 8-12 mark in conference play. The men host AUM on Thursday, then they celebrate the seniors on Saturday with Montevallo in the field house. Spring has sprung here on the UWF campus, depending on what day of the week it is. Argo baseball had to wait out some rain last weekend because that's what happens this time of year, but finally got on the field at the Spoon for that home opener. 10th-ranked Rollins made the trip up to Pensacola and got swept by the home team in a Sunday doubleheader. The Argos took Game 1 6-3 behind a strong outing on the mound from starter Dalton Neuschwander and some timely hitting up and down that lineup. Darian McDowell, the big fella at first base, had a huge day at the plate, homering in the first game, then adding another bomb and a double in the second. The Argos took on Spring Hill at home on Tuesday this week. The boys looked right at home, jumping on top early and riding that lead to an 8-3 win. Jackson Grabsky, McDowell, and Preston Moore each had 2 hits in the victory.
Yeah, it was a nice, midweek win. One of these nights where we wanted to get a lot of guys in there that hadn't played. Position player-wise, we were able to do that. Obviously got some pitchers in there that hadn't pitched. Posey missed his start this past weekend because of the rain, so we wanted to get him a little bit of work. He went 2 innings, and then Bella and those guys that haven't thrown, Leland and Estes, those guys that haven't thrown a whole lot, did a nice job. They walked 10 of us, so we had a lot of base runners, just couldn't cash in probably from the 5th inning on. Got some early runs on some mistakes on their part. Probably didn't play as clean a game as we would like in terms of offensively and, leaving a lot of meat on the bone out there, but played good defensively. And, we did our job in the midweek, and it's good to always play instead of practice. So definitely a good matchup tonight. Just one of those things where you come off of doubleheader on Sunday, pretty emotional, only 1 day break, and, you hope the guys get up. We had a nice midweek crowd for our first home midweek, so it was a good night. Yeah, I think Florida Tech's got a really good club, and we want to finish this homestand up strong. And this is our last series with the Sunshine State schools. We had 3 of them lined up, and we obviously want to win the series. We want to win all the series, but we got to be ready to play. We got to play a lot cleaner, a lot better than we did tonight. It's going to be a great test.
They will host Florida Tech for a series starting on Friday at the Spoon. Softball was out on the road again last week with games against Florida Tech, Tampa, Rollins, and Embry-Riddle. The Argos split 2 on Friday, beating Florida Tech 5-3, then losing to Tampa. Saturday, though, a clean sweep with a 4-1 win over Rollins and a 7-1 thrashing of Embry-Riddle. Montana Young, Jaya Prasad, and Hannah Harper picked up victories in the circle. Maddie Vasquez had 9 hits and 4 RBI across those 4 games.
I think it was a really good weekend. We didn't have the greatest game against Tampa, but we made sure to come back and get the 2 W's on our last day there, and I think that's what really matters. We're slowly coming together as a team and finding out who we are. I think our hitters were more comfortable at the plate, things that we've just been teaching them since day 1 here. They're finally understanding it more and more as games are getting played, and so I think overall as a whole as hitters they've done a really good job. Yeah, our pitchers did a great job. Tampa was again, a game that we're just going to wash. But overall, I think all the other games with our pitchers, they did a really good job. Just being able to play at home and being back at the Fork is just super exciting. And we're excited to host Flagler and see what we can do by protecting our own field.
The Argos finally get home to the Fork this weekend. They are hosting Flagler for a double dip on Saturday. The UWF men's golf team opened the spring season ranked 3rd in the nation with their sights set on another national title. The Argos finished top 5 in their first spring tournament, that was last week, with Patrick Pote winning the honors as the GSC Men's Golfer of the Week with his performance at the Matlock Classic.
We had a really pretty solid fall. Probably should have won at least 2 of the tournaments in the fall, but finished up ranked 3rd in the nation. If we can get that 3, 4, and 5 guy to kind of improve their game a little bit more, we'll be pretty tough, I think. Definitely Barry. They're right up there. Anderson won every tournament in the fall. Lee, they're defending champions. They didn't really, I think they lost 1 player, so they're very good. Probably those 3 really are the 3 that come to mind. We can make a run. We gotta improve some areas that we're deficient in. We got to get the 3, 4, and 5 guy to step up a little bit more. Elias and Felipe have had really good falls, and I expect that to continue. If we can get the other guys playing a little bit more solid and consistent, and maybe some of the younger guys step up their games, which I think may happen, we can make a pretty good run.
Women's golf also starts the spring ranked in the national polls. The reigning GSC champs open with a top 10 finish in their first tourney. Sophomore Aaliyah Skotka got the honors as the GSC Women's Golfer of the Week.
Looking back over our fall, I was really pleased with how we played as a team together. Each year we're developing more and more and more. Something that was, a keynote 3-4 years ago, we shot 315, 320. That was kind of a bad day for us. Now, if we shoot 310, 305, that's kind of our bad day now. So seeing the team develop to those expectations and the first time really putting that into action in the fall was really great. We added a few girls to our roster. Kate was a transfer coming in, and Millie as a freshman. They have complemented the returning team from our conference championship earlier that year. So when we closed out the fall, I think we were ranked 27th. We were really pleased with where we were and just excited to get to work. It's really comforting having, seasoned veterans coming back, returners. We only lost 1. And it's really set our expectations higher at practice. Having the girls already been through, what it takes to win a championship, especially a conference championship, has really elevated our practices, made them a little bit tougher, set our expectations a little bit better. It's been nice incorporating the new players. They've just seamlessly transitioned right in and are right there with them on that mindset. We're looking at 36 whole days. Those are 10 hours on the course, following it up with 18 the next day. And we're not playing easy teams. These are teams ranked top 25 consistently. So I'm excited to see where we stand heading out there and playing against better teams and trying to obviously every day climb that leaderboard. I suspect we will. The team has had a great practice so far, and we're just excited for nice sunny weather and, good competition.
The men play next in early March. That is at the Las Vegas Desert Classic. The women tee it up February 20 and 21 at the Florida Southern Lady Mocs Classic. And the 6th-ranked UWF swimming and diving team is competing for the conference championship this week over in Cleveland, Mississippi. We will update you on that event on next week's show. That's a look at all we have going on for this edition of Argo Sports Insider. Don't forget, GoArgos.com is your online home for all things UWF athletics. Check out your latest news and notes, schedules, rosters, and tons of other good stuff, including make sure you check out the new clear bag policy for out at baseball and softball this spring. That's important to know that information. You can always follow us with the Argo Armada app on your phone or tablet, and you can find that in the Apple or Google App Store. And we are all over social media. Don't forget to follow and engage with your favorite Argo teams. We'll see you next time, and as always, go Argos!